In the early days of the digital frontier, system administrators whispered about a phantom haunting their servers. This phantom wasn't a ghost in the traditional sense, but a persistent, unseen force that tested the boundaries of their digital defenses night after night. Night after night, login attempts would appear, simple, relentless guessing, admin, password, 12345, and so on. The attempts were so frequent and methodical that it almost felt like a ritual, a nightly dance between attacker and defender. Most of the time, the system held firm. Strong passwords and vigilant monitoring kept the phantom at bay, and administrators would breathe a sigh of relief as another night passed without incident. But sometimes, a weak password would let the ghost in. All it took was a single oversight, a simple, guessable key, and the attacker would slip through the cracks, gaining access to the digital kingdom. This wasn't magic, just brute persistence. The attacker didn't need to be clever, just patient and determined, willing to try every possible combination until the right one unlocked the door. The Phantom was an early script, a precursor to today's powerful tools. It was simple, but effective, and it laid the groundwork for the sophisticated brute force attacks we see now. It proved a simple truth: a lock is only as strong as its key is hard to guess. No matter how advanced the system, a weak password could render it vulnerable in an instant. Brute force attacks are about patience and computational power, not clever exploits. The attacker relies on the sheer speed and endurance of machines, tirelessly working through every possible password. Attackers try every key until one works. It's a numbers game, and with enough time and resources, even the most secure-seeming systems can be cracked if their passwords are weak. This crude method remains effective because human habits, like weak or reused passwords, create vulnerabilities. People often underestimate the importance of strong, unique passwords, making themselves easy targets. The Ghost was just a program exploiting human error. It didn't need to be sophisticated. It simply took advantage of the predictable patterns in human behavior. Today's tools are faster and can attack multiple systems at once, but the principle is unchanged. Automation and distributed computing have only made these attacks more efficient and widespread. It's a digital siege, a battle of attrition. Defenders must constantly reinforce their walls, while attackers probe for the slightest weakness, never giving up. Understanding this history grounds us in the reality of cybersecurity. It's a constant struggle against relentless, automated persistence. The lessons of the past remind us that vigilance and strong security practices are more important than ever. The lesson? Security is only as strong as its weakest password. One careless choice can compromise an entire system, no matter how advanced the technology. As we explore brute force attacks, remember, simplicity and persistence can be devastating. Even the most basic attack, if left unchecked, can cause significant damage. The digital world rewards patience and punishes carelessness. Every weak password is an open invitation to those who are willing to keep trying. Let's see how this ancient threat has evolved, and what we can do to defend ourselves in an age where persistence is more powerful than ever. Before we go any further, it's important to set a critical boundary. Everything you're about to learn is intended strictly for educational and defensive purposes. This knowledge is powerful, and with power comes responsibility. You must use these techniques only on systems you personally own, or on systems where you have received clear, explicit permission to test from the rightful owner. Never assume permission, always get it in writing. Unauthorized use of these skills is not just unethical, it's illegal, and can result in severe legal consequences, including arrest and prosecution. Think of this knowledge as a weapon. Like any tool, it is neutral by itself, but its impact is determined by your intent and actions. By choosing to continue, you are making an unbreakable vow to use your skills ethically, to protect, not to harm, to defend, not to attack. Every action you take must be guided by both legality and a strong sense of personal responsibility. The law is clear, and so is your duty. Breaking into systems is never a harmless prank. It's a serious crime with real victims, people and organizations who suffer loss, stress, and damage. Always pause and ask yourself, do I have explicit permission? Is what I'm doing legal? Am I acting in the name of defense? If the answer to any of these is no, stop immediately. If you're fascinated by the world of digital defense and want to learn more about ethical hacking, make sure to follow for more in-depth responsible content. Together, we'll explore the tools and techniques used by attackers, not to copy criminals, but to understand and build stronger, more resilient defenses. Remember, true mastery in cybersecurity means knowing not just how to use your skills, but when and why, to always choose the path of good, and to inspire others to do the same. What is a brute force attack? It's trial and error, systematically guessing every possible password or PIN until one works. Imagine trying every combination on a locked briefcase. In the digital world, a program does this at lightning speed. Attackers use word lists, files with millions of common passwords, names, and leaked credentials. There are variations: simple brute force, every combination; dictionary attacks, common words; hybrid attacks, words plus numbers; and credential stuffing, reused passwords from breaches. All rely on repeated guessing, not exploiting software flaws. Success depends on password complexity and system defenses. Short, simple passwords fall quickly. Long, complex ones can take centuries to crack. Security measures like account lockouts slow attackers, but strong, unique passwords are the best defense. Understanding brute force attacks shows why password strength matters. Brute force attacks require specialized tools. Enter Hydra. Hydra, named after the multi-headed serpent, can launch many parallel login attempts across multiple protocols. It supports SSH, FTP, HTTP, SMB, VNC, databases, and more, making it a universal tool for penetration testers. Hydra automates password guessing. You provide a target, usernames, and a password list. It reports progress in real time and alerts you when it finds a valid login. Hydra doesn't exploit vulnerabilities. It simply tries credentials at high speed. Its power is efficiency and versatility. For defenders, Hydra's existence is a reminder: enforce strong passwords, use multi-factor authentication, and monitor for rapid login attempts. Tools like Hydra are why security policies matter. Know your enemy to defend your systems. To defend against Hydra, you must understand it, starting with installation. On Kali Linux or Parrot OS, Hydra is usually pre-installed. Check with. On Ubuntu or Debian, install it with and. For the latest version, download and compile from the official repository. Always install Hydra in a controlled, ethical environment, never on unauthorized systems. Set up a personal lab with virtual machines, one as the attacker with Hydra, one as the victim, running a test service. This sandbox lets you experiment safely and legally. Practice in isolation to avoid legal trouble and unintended harm. Understanding the tool's setup is the first step to mastering its use and defending against it. Now let's learn how to use Hydra. Hydra's command line syntax is straightforward. The basic format: L specifies a file with usernames, P, a file with passwords. If you know the username, use L. For a single password, use P. Add the target's IP or hostname, and the protocol, like SSH, FTP, or HTTP postform. Optional flags let you customize. T sets parallel tasks. V shows verbose output. O saves results. Example: mastering these flags lets you tailor attacks for speed or stealth. Hydra's flexibility is its strength. Understand the syntax to use it effectively. Next, let's see Hydra in action. Let's dive into auditing a new FTP server to identify weak passwords that could be exploited. Imagine your server's IP is 192.168.1.55. You suspect there are accounts named user or FTP user that might be vulnerable. Start by creating a users.txt file with those usernames, and a passwords.txt file filled with common weak passwords. In real-world scenarios, you would use extensive word lists like rocku.txt. However, for this demonstration, a smaller list will suffice to illustrate the process. The command you'll use is Hydra, a powerful tool for testing password strength. Hydra systematically tries every possible username-password combination, showing its progress in the terminal window. If a match is found, such as ftpuser1234556, Hydra will report the successful login attempt. This discovery confirms a vulnerability that needs immediate attention by changing the weak password to something more secure. This process highlights how attackers exploit weak credentials and how you can proactively find and fix these issues before they are exploited. Always conduct these tests in a controlled lab environment to ensure safety and compliance. Use the insights gained from these tests to bolster your security measures, not to exploit vulnerabilities. Practical testing is crucial for understanding and defending against brute force attacks, providing real-world experience. Now, let's discuss the importance of staying safe and legal while conducting these tests, ensuring compliance with cybersecurity laws. Using Hydra, even in a lab, demands caution and responsibility. Only test systems you own or have explicit permission to assess. Unauthorized use is a crime, regardless of intent. Brute force attacks generate noisy traffic, easy for intrusion detection systems to spot. Tools like fail2ban can block your IP after repeated failed logins. In professional tests, slow down attacks or use proxies to avoid detection. The safest way to learn is in an isolated virtual lab, no risk to real systems. Always act ethically. Your goal is to find and fix weaknesses, not exploit them. Document and report vulnerabilities to system owners. Security knowledge is power. Use it responsibly. Ethics and legality must guide every action. We've explored brute force attacks and the Hydra tool, from history to hands-on use. Now, you hold powerful knowledge. The path you choose defines you. Use these skills for good or risk severe consequences. The black hat path leads to crime and destruction. Don't go there. The ethical hacker's path is about defense, integrity, and making the digital world safer. Work with organizations, educate users, and build stronger systems. The skills are easy to learn, but true mastery is using them responsibly. Remember your vow. Never attack unauthorized systems. Use Hydra in your lab, test your own systems, and always seek to improve security. Be a builder, not a breaker. Be a guardian, not a ghost. The choice is yours. Use your skills wisely. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Cyber Defense for the latest in cybersecurity.